Hello, hello, hello to all moms and women in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you around the world. Today we have a special guest who likes to be wild. Ho ho. Just kidding. No, we're not that bad. We're good people. So our guest today is co-owner of Wildly Digital. That's why I said wild, okay? Maybe you're thinking too much. Don't overthink. So she helps their team, she and her team helps businesses to scale to 100K a month. How would you like to be helped? Right? That's amazing. So she has a very, very inspiring story that we want to share to you. That way, hopefully, you or one person can benefit from it. So without further much ado, I want to introduce to you our guest for today, Meghan. Hello, Meghan. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome, welcome. Of course, we want to inspire people. We want to inspire moms, women's. Um, we can inspire one. We're good. So, for starters, let me ask you one question. Very simple question. Tell us about you. Who are you? What do you do? Things like that.
Yes, so I'm Meghan. Meghan McNabb is my full
Hi,
name.
Meghan.
So like Vea said, I am the co-owner of Wildly Digital. We are a online marketing firm that has been in business for almost 4 years.
Mhm.
And we help businesses scale to whatever revenue goal they want to be at. But ideally, we all want to be making $100,000 a month, right? Like, who doesn't want to be making big bucks in their business? So we assist you with managing your business and giving you freedom and time to do what you do best, and also spend time with your family and enjoy the life that you want to create. I'm actually living in the Dominican right now. So I've been living in the Dominican for almost 4 months. And that was a part of my 5-year vision to get myself here. And yeah, I busted my behind to get myself to the Dominican. And it honestly is amazing. Like, to do something, considering, like, and I'll get into my story a little bit more, but considering where I came from and what I've been through, to actually have achieved this goal is so rewarding. Like, I think I posted about it yesterday that this time last year, I was crying in my bedroom, begging the universe to give me this gift. And I followed through. And what I found is that by consistent persistence, that I got to where I wanted to be. And that also has to do with running my business and, living my life my way. So that's why I'm here.
Wow. I want that life. Living my life my way. Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And that's
Who,
what we
who
found
doesn't
is
want
that,
that? Who doesn't
yeah,
want
right?
that? Everybody
Everyone
would
wants
want that. Yeah.
Everybody wants that. And that's like the big secret of the Wildly Digital process is not only do we help you run your business, but we help you create the life that you want to live. And I feel like I'm doing a good job of showcasing that that's possible, because like you got to lead by example, right?
You did it already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It happened to you. So are you going to be staying? Are you going to be just living in Dominican, or it's just a part of, I want to stay there for time being?
So it's definitely like a starting point for me. I still do have a place in Canada. That's where I'm from. And I'm here, I'm extending my trip until May. So I'll be here for 6 months. I'm going home, selling all my stuff and moving back here so that I can move on to my next goal, which is to buy property and build a home here. And then my next step is to then get a house in Europe and then get one in Canada. So I'm kind of doing it in like an interesting loop, but this has been my goal for a long time, is to own a place in the tropics. And call it home. Like I've always wanted to live the life where like I can wake up in the morning, open up the door, and there's the bright sunshine and the beach and all of that.
Oh,
So,
wow. What a dream life.
right? And that's the thing, you can manifest whatever life you want. You just got to be willing to do it.
Right, right. Oh, wow. You want to stay there and then travel to Europe. What
Yeah.
happened to Canada?
Okay, I'm not a fan of winter.
Okay.
At all. Like I really just don't like it. And Canada has been my home my whole life.
Mhm.
And I feel like I just never belonged. Like I've never felt like I have roots there. I've always been moving around. I've always been trying to find myself and
Mhm.
find what makes me happy. And in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to live abroad, and that literally dictated every decision that I've made to get to where I am now. And I think just Canada is home. I love my family. I love my country, but it's kind of like the end of the journey. So I started my journey there. Eventually, I will own property in Canada as well, but it's not my main goal in life to just be living the Canadian life. Like I feel like and so I'm sure some people can relate, is that like there's this feeling when you're living in especially Ontario that it's just really hustle and bustle. Like it's very competitive. It's very like everybody is trying to get to like to keep with the Joneses type mentality.
Right, okay.
And I'm not that person. I am a very laid back, very, very assertive, like go-getter. But I don't like feeling under pressure. I like to let things flow. I kind of feel like a palm tree in a way. Like a palm tree is a really good definition of something that just like sways, right? Like it's, you got palm trees behind you, so you understand
You're
that
looking for your freedom.
Exactly, looking for my freedom. And that's so important to me. And I feel like Canada just has never given me that sense of freedom that I've been looking for. Really, I think it is because 6 months of the year it's freaking cold there and you can't do anything. Like you're stuck inside the whole time. And I'm not a homebody at all. I like to be out. I like to be doing things. I like to meet new people. And winter's never been my jive. So I've always wanted to live somewhere where I can sit in a dress and hang out on a porch all day long, and I'm doing that.
So where did you pick? Why did you pick Dominican Republic?
So I'm a very spiritual person.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a Reiki master as well as like doing everything else that I do. So there is this essence to the Dominican. Like I've been to Mexico, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to a bunch of tropical places, but there's something about the ground that you walk on in the Dominican that is just so pure. And I don't know, you just feel it. Like it just feels like you're a grounded person. And I think that that has a lot to do with the stone that is native to the Dominican. It's called Larimar. And it's this beautiful blue stone. Like it looks like a blue sky. It's so pretty. It's like one of my favorite stones too. But what it represents is internal wisdom, internal peace, and safety and security. And you feel that. Like you can feel that in every step that you take here, in every conversation that you have. And then the people here are just so pure, so genuine. And from a spiritual perspective, they're quite spiritual people as well. Like they're very connected to God. That's what they believe in. And even in their flag, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at a Dominican flag, but it actually has a picture of the Bible in the flag. It's the only flag that has that.
Wow. Just hearing you talk, I feel like I want to go there.
You should. You totally should. Like, you walk off the plane and you just feel it. Like, it's just such a magical place. And where I am right now, the other thing that I love about the Dominican is that there's so many different types of environments here. Like you can go to the beach, or where I am right now, I'm in the mountain regions because there's a mountain here. So there's like this beautiful rivers, like literally like 5 minutes from here, there's this gorgeous
Wow.
river that you can go and sit by, and like everyone here just goes and hangs out, and they do cookouts by the river. It's so cute. And then up the mountain, there's this thing called 27 waterfalls, where there's all these different waterfalls that
Oh,
connect to each other,
wow.
and you can hike up and like go down the waterfalls. It's super cool. So
Wow.
awesome. So like from a tourist perspective, there's tons of stuff to do here too, but
Yeah.
from a living point of view, it's just, yeah, it's just such like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, it feels like pure calmness all the time. Like you can really just breathe, which I've never felt like I can do in Canada, and here I can.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, as I hear you talking about, where you are, it's like, oh wow, I want to go there.
Yeah, right.
One day I'll go there.
Definitely you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like coming from where I came from and like the journey that I've been on, I feel like it's been a huge part of my healing process as well, to like become the person and the version of myself that I want to be,
Yeah.
which is really important.
Wow. Yeah, it's a big difference. I mean, I could tell that it's just a huge difference from living in Canada and moving over there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you found your place.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now that you kind of mentioned a little bit about your story, we don't want to tease people, to keep waiting. Why
Yeah.
don't we start talking about your inspiring story?
Yeah. So I guess I'll rewind like 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I started my journey as a very ambitious teenager. Like I never, because I'm 30.
Mhm.
So I'm new to my 30s. I just turned 30 in September. So like halfway through that
You're still
30
young.
year.
As a
Yeah, 30
teenager
years.
now. 30 is a
Exactly.
teenager now.
Exactly. I still have that spirit. But as a teenager, I was super ambitious. Like I never was the type to just kind of hang out and chill out. Like I always had a job. I was always looking for that next thing, really trying to set myself up for a successful life.
Mhm.
So at 19, I was a personal health coach, running a center for Herbal Magic, which is a weight loss center in
Mhm.
Canada.
Mhm.
And I was making really good money. Like I was one of the top salespeople in Canada. So like literally if you came to see me, I sold you. That was like my thing. But underneath that, I had a terrible eating disorder. I was super sick. I was crazy body obsessed. I spent most days being miserable with myself, and the only way that I felt happy was when I was serving other people.
Mhm.
So I didn't really have my own identity. And I also, because I was such an overachiever, no one thought that there was anything wrong with me. So I had a very solitude journey with my eating disorder. Like most people, either like my family, once I came clean that I did have an eating disorder, they were like, oh yeah, like we knew. My friends said that they knew, but no one said anything to me. Nobody
Oh,
tried to help. Nobody called me out on my shit. Like it was, they all said that it was because they were scared to tell me, because they thought I was gonna like, bite their head off. Because
mhm.
I'm an assertive person. So when you tell me I'm wrong, sometimes I'm like, don't tell me that.
But you know what?
uh,
My kind of like just my thought, it could be
yeah,
also because they see that you're a very strong person. You can do it. You can go through it. So, a lot of times we tend to not say something when we see the person is capable, because,
right.
oh, she's gonna go through it. She'll be fine. But like you said, it's actually important to just talk to the person because it will show that you care.
exactly.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. And like, I think my family definitely felt that way. Like they all were like, oh, it's just a phase, she'll get over it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're young then, right?
Yeah, I was young. Yeah. And I had an eating disorder for pretty much my whole life. Like I had struggled with food since I was like 6 years old. And a lot of that had to do with like childhood stuff that I used food as an outlet of something that I could control. And a lot of this is from like major therapy and stuff like that. I know this about myself now. But yeah, like I used it as a vice, I guess you can say. Like it was a major vice in my life of like controlling things, because I didn't feel like I actually had control over my life at all.
Right.
And so I was working at this weight loss center and doing really well from a work perspective. And I helped doing corporate takeovers. So I would go into franchise locations that had been sold back to corporate and help them increase their sales goals. And I was working in a small town, like I think the population there is like maybe 30,000 people, if that. And I had one night where I had a really bad episode of my eating disorder, and I woke up on the ground the next morning, which like clearly I had fainted. And it kind of was like an aha moment for me of like, oh my God, I need to take care of my health. I need to take care of myself. So I stopped working for the company I was working for, and I moved back to Waterloo and started doing the healing journey. So
how old were you then when you start doing the healing?
21. So it was like 2 years of working in the weight loss industry. And then at around 21 was when I started realizing I really needed help and support.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I let me cut you off. I was just thinking, because when you were, as you tell your story, and yet interesting is you work in a health industry, like it's something you struggle, and yet you are working there, it's related, right? And
exactly,
that's really interesting. So it can, I mean, I could, from my perspective, kind of think that you know that you need help. So you're trying to get in there, but on the other hand, you were like, okay, I'm tough. I could be wrong, but from my understanding is, for me, if I were in your shoes, I probably would also do the same thing, because it's like two different personality, because I want to help, but I'm so proud, or I'm strong, I can do this, I believe in myself. And sometimes we get to that point where, okay, I'm just gonna keep it to myself because I know I can do this. But actually it's not a good thing, because we're hurting ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And it was also kind of by working there, it was perpetuating the eating disorder as well, because I had access to weight loss supplements and stuff like that. So at the time I was taking 90 supplements a day. So it was pretty excessive. And it was all the supplements that were provided by this company. So it was like, yes, I could. And you're so right. When I was working there, I was like, I don't want anybody to know that I have this. I don't want anybody to know that I'm sick. I don't want anybody to know that there's something wrong with me. And I can also maintain this look that I have by supplementing my life with pills. So I was pretty much a pill popper, I guess you could say.
That's a lot to take, 90.
Yes.
90.
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot.
About 30 pills a meal. Yeah, I was pretty crazy. Like not healthy at all. Sorry, there's a motorcycle driving by. It's one thing about the Dominican, there's always bikes and stuff all over the place. So I realized that I needed to change my environment. I still didn't want to like totally accept that I had an eating disorder. So I quit working at Herbal Magic, and then I went to work for a gym. I went to work for Good Life, which is one of the biggest gyms in Canada. And so I was managing, I was an assistant general manager. So I was managing like 4,500 members. So over 4,000 members at this gym. Anybody who wanted to leave the gym had to sit down with me and try to cancel. So it was like I switched the role with myself of like going from getting people into the gym to keeping people. So like getting them into the weight loss program. Now it was like, no, like you have to continue working towards your goals. And so I started doing personal training, and my personal trainer called me out. She was the first person to ever call me out on my eating disorder. She was like, I think you have an eating disorder. And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, yeah, I do. And at that point I had actually told a couple of friends, and a couple of family members had started to notice things. So it was like everything in my life was leading to a breakdown, essentially.
Yeah.
And so when my personal trainer told me that, she's like, I can't train you anymore. Like, you need to go get help. So I ended up going on a medical leave from work for 3 months and did intensive therapy. I was working with a nutritionist, a nurse practitioner, a social worker, a therapist, and a family therapist, to try to like break down the issues. And so one of the things that happens when you have that sort of addictive mentality is you're like, once you feel like you're healed, it's kind of like, oh, I'm on top of the world. And so I felt like I could take on anything. And at that moment, I met this guy. And he was like, oh, you don't need treatment anymore. I'm going to help you. It was like in hindsight, he was very abusive. So I didn't know that.
Like the perfect timing, huh?
Exactly.
The perfect time, yeah.
Exactly. So I met him at like the perfect time, but the worst time. So he was able to kind of weasel his way into my life. And at that point I had gone back to work, and I was working back at the gym, and things were like rocky. Like I didn't feel like I could work in that environment anymore, because I was surrounded by personal weight loss goals and people achieving their personal fitness goals and stuff like that. Even though the gym had a very good positioning statement where like they didn't focus on the negative piece, when you work in that sort of environment, everybody that works there is health obsessed. So it was almost like I didn't belong there anymore. And he also dealt drugs. And so he was I'm just gonna let this bike go by. You can cut that out if you want to.
That's fine. We want to be natural, like.
All right, the natural. Yeah, I love that. So so he asked me if I wanted to help him, because he saw the type of person that I was, that like I can sell water in the rain. That's a part of what I teach my clients, is how to sell effectively. And that is a part of my personality. Like I am a walking, talking salesperson. Like I am a billboard for my business all the time. And that has been me regardless of what job I've had. I am always like on that game. So him being smart, because he was a smart guy, he convinced me that selling drugs was going to make me more money faster. And so I was like, okay, like, let's do it. And I ended up quitting my job and selling drugs full time with him. And looking back, I honestly, up until like a year ago, I didn't talk about it. It was kind of like a part of my life that I just kept to myself. I was I had a lot of shame and a lot of guilt around it, that I had even allowed myself to get into that position. But through my eating disorder and everything, I also smoked a lot of weed. So I was also doing drugs at that point as well. And like, not like weed's not that bad of a drug. A lot of people use it on a daily basis. And in Canada, it's legal. It's a recreational thing. It's kind of like drinking now, right? But it was the gateway. And everyone's like, oh, weed's not a gateway drug. Yeah, it is. It totally is. Like, it, for an addictive personality, it will open you up to really anything that you think you can have control over. And so cocaine was what I was selling, which is a pretty harsh drug, and it's a harsh environment to be in. And the people that you meet, anyone who's been in that world, like, you know that it's like it is a slippery slope, and it can go fast. I went from having an apartment to having my life together to having nothing in 8 months. Like, it was, wow. It was a whirlwind. When I met him, I had just moved back from worked, like living in that small town. So I was living with my mom at that point. And I left her house because obviously I couldn't live with her doing what I was doing.
Right.
I moved with him. Technically, I was homeless. We lived in my cottage for the summer because that was really the time that it had happened over. Like all of this happened in 8 months. Like it was like just like a blip in my life, but so much impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bought an apartment with him, and he pretty much used it as like a safe house, I guess is how they refer to it. And like it was scary. He became super abusive. I was exposed to people that I should not have been exposed to, in situations that I never thought I would be in, coming from the family that I came from and like the life that I had. Because like I never came from like poverty or anything like that. Like I had a very good childhood, like very well supported and everything. Like these were decisions I made on my own. Nobody else influenced these decisions, but because my brain was so messed up from my eating disorder, I hated the world. Like I was like, nobody cares about me. Like that's kind of where I was at that point. But the blessing that came out of it was that when things got really bad, he had eliminated everybody from my life. I didn't have a relationship with my family. I didn't have really any friends. The only person who I had maintained a relationship with is one of my best friends that lives in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. It's like 6 hours away from where I was living.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept her a secret from him, and I would like secretly message her and like stay in contact with her. And there was one night where through all of this, he actually re-triggered my eating disorder. So I was fully in my eating disorder again, back to where I started, feeling like shit. And she said to me, she was like, either you get in the car right now. She's like, I'm calling your mom. She's sending you money and you're leaving, and you're not telling anybody that you're leaving. And I left because she was like, and if you don't, I can't be in your life anymore. And I was like, I can't lose the one person who truly loves me right now.
Yes.
I need to make the best decision for myself. And it was a huge wake up call. So I left, I moved in with her. I moved to Ottawa. I reset up my life.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that saved me was my career. Because I had been such an ambitious person, I was able to get another really good job. I was working at a shoe store as an assistant manager, and at like 20, and this was, I think at this point I'm 23, so I'm still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just kind of restarted my life. And from there, I moved back to Waterloo, which is where I'm originally from. Met another guy who was also kind of abusive. So men in my life, like we're interesting. It's great. But through being with him, he was a much more genuine person, but when he drank, he was very not good. So still kind of in that lifestyle. So I had clearly not gotten rid of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I still let a lot of toxicity into my life. But at that point, I went to work at an accelerator center. So I was the programs coordinator for an accelerator program that helped entrepreneurs start their business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got introduced to entrepreneurship. And I was like, this is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I'm not supposed
and
to
you're
be
good, and you're good at it. I
Yes.
can tell, at your
Thank
early
you.
age, you've been doing so much. So
Thank you.
you already have that already, and you just need to develop that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so I was like a sponge. I just absorbed all the information that I learned there. And
Mhm.
I learned what makes businesses successful in any country. Because one of the great things was the program that I was working for, they had a major influence on importing and exporting. So I got to see how international business was run, and how do you set yourself up as a individual person and build out a plan to run a business, like a multi-level functioning business that has every piece of the puzzle planned out. And I'm a planner. I love planning. And I was like, I can do this. I can help people with this. And so again, still have my eating disorder through all of this. So there was funding cuts within the business. And at that point, I was still in treatment because I had gone back into treatment. So the business decided to let me go because they didn't have the funds to afford my position anymore.
Right.
But for me, I saw that as them letting me go because I saw them letting me go is because I was still sick. So that was when I decided that I needed to take control over my own life. And I wasn't going to let this illness run me anymore. Like I wasn't going to let it make me make bad decisions. And I had a really great mentor who she told me that I should start a business doing social media. And so I had also just enrolled in a post-grad program for social media marketing at that time. And so I went back to school. I did consulting for about 9 months, helping small businesses run their social media. And then I got an opportunity to work with a tech company. The tech company is called NetSweeper. They do web filtering. And I was pretty much in charge of their marketing department. I was a one-woman marketing show, running this multi-million-dollar business's marketing department for an international business. Like they have over 5 million members worldwide. They're in 25 countries around the world. They have sales reps in each of those countries. So I was managing the marketing and the execution of sales collateral for 15 sales professionals. So all of that taught me so much about how marketing and sales work together and how important social media is to, and your online presence is to running your business, running your sales, getting new clients, and maintaining the customers that you already have, the clients that you already have.
Right.
So while I was in this program, my business partner, Kate, she was also taking the program with me as well. And there was one day where I was just like, and honestly, as much as I loved working for NetSweeper and they taught me so much, that entrepreneur bug was just in my head all the time. I could not get running my own business out of my head. It was there. It was something that I knew I needed. I hated waking up and having to perform for someone else and being on somebody else's schedule. Like, I'm not that person, not that person at all. I like to be the boss, and I'm okay with it.
You do qualify as a boss. You are a boss. With your experience, you have so much experience, so you really is a boss.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I mean,
well, I'm really happy that you said that, because I hope that comes across.
Well, yeah, I mean, just based on what you told me, you can already, I mean, I can already see how you can do. You just have to believe in yourself that you can do it, and you can, and you can.
Yeah. Exactly. And so when I met my business partner, that's pretty much what I did. I just walked up to her one day and I was like, hey, you want to start a business? And she was like, I got to think about it. So she thought about it for a couple of days. And then she came back to me and she was like, yeah, let's do this. And that was what started Wildly Digital. I went through everything that I had learned about starting a business. I put Kate through that process, and Kate was like, yo, we can make money off of this. I was like, okay, let's make money off of that too. So it went from just being marketing support to a full online business management firm where we support businesses with their social content, email marketing, funnel creation, funnel management, asset design, videography and photography. Really, we help to support your business on all angles that affect your online performance.
Wow, you're like a digital marketing agency, right?
Yeah. We go a little bit.
Everything is included.
Exactly. We're kind of like a one-stop shop, except that what we've done, why we call ourselves an online business management firm, is we go above just marketing. So because of the experience that I have with sales, I help with creating a formula for inbound and outbound exchange for sales. So with marketing, that's what brings people into you. So that's inbound, but then you also have to have the right processes set up into your business for outbound execution as well, so that you create that what they call the flywheel, or that funnel exchange, where you have people going through your funnel, coming back out the bottom and moving back into the top, helping to generate referral sources, and how your social presence and your digital presence affects each stage of your business.
Right. Wow. While you're talking, you're really the queen of your business. Yeah. So we had a little glitch here. Looks like she got
Thank you.
frozen, or is it me? Or maybe the connection.
I try to be,
Just
for
a
sure.
little-
Sorry, I'm cutting out a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
It's on my end. It's definitely on my end. Like, the
Well,
internet, that's one thing with living in the Dominican, it's a little unstable, just a little bit.
well, my connection, we also live in like away from the city. So
Okay.
we're like the boundary, so they don't really take care of much, our internet. But so far we're fine. But sometimes I still have this little thing that happens. So wow, you're a queen.
Thank you.
Now, listening to you was like, wow. So good for you. You found your passion, you found your place, you found, it's like having everything right now. And good luck to your business, and keep it growing. And for anybody out there listening, hey, if you're right now looking for something to do, or you need help with your business, you can reach out to Meghan.
Yeah, always here to help.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
yeah,
that's really inspiring to listen to you, because what you just shared is something a lot of us may have gone through. Sometimes we think, oh, my life sucks. You're not the only person. You're not alone. There's many of us that goes through this journey. So that's why we're here, to help each other. And it's always a good thing if we can help each other, because not only it helps you, it also helps the other person. A lot of times we think, oh yeah, I'm just the only one helping here. No, that's not true. When you help someone, you're helping yourself too. You get better each time you help someone, and the other person also gets better because the other person learned something from you.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So it's a
so
win.
true.
It's a win.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
the last thing I want to ask you, what do you like to do outside of work?
Oh, I love going to the beach. I live for the beach. Yes. Yeah, I love it. I'm also working on getting my scuba diving license while I'm here. That's going to be, it's been on my list to do for so long. So by the end of this year, I will have my scuba diving license, and I hope to be able to scuba dive on a monthly basis. That's where I'm working towards.
Wow, you're living your life.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very, like, not maybe one in a million, because not everybody gets to that, moment where you can really enjoy your life. Although a lot of times we may think, oh, my life is bad, or it's probably because we focus on the bad things or the negative side. So I can see Meghan is very positive. You have that positive, um, inside you, that you always go around in life. Because if not, with the experience you have, the story you shared, some people can't come back out of it. But you did, because there is that positivity inside you. And that's very important, you know, when life will never be like everything perfect, but there's always a way to have fun. There's always a way to enjoy life, even if it's at the darkest. You always try to find that spark of light, and that will help you to, you know, enjoy your life instead of dealing with the negative side. So for the last question I have for you is, how do people reach out to you if they need your service, or, you know, something that they
Yeah.
want to ask you about?
Yes, so feel free to follow us on any social platform. We are everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. We have a YouTube. All platforms are Wildly Digital Co. So at Wildly Digital Co. is our handle. You can also visit our website, which is www.wildlydigital.com. Or you can add me as a friend on Facebook, and I'd be happy to chat with you. I'm always open to building new connections, answering questions, being a support. That's what I love to do.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. And hopefully we can motivate one person today. Just one person. I don't ask for more, but if we can motivate one, inspire one person today, that's a win for today. So thank you for being my guest today, and hopefully we can still connect, and maybe we have another, if you have something you want to promote, we can also, you know, kind of connect again with, and to share, so you can share to others, you know.
Awesome.
So
sounds great.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you. You
More
have a great
luck,
rest
not just good luck, but more luck to you.
I appreciate it so much. You have a great day as well.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody. See you soon for our next guest. Bye-bye.